Welcome. That's Patrick Hoban. He did not participate in DNYCS Santiago, but this is his picture anyway. I would have preferred a different picture, but nah, okay. I'm not the one who made the thing, so. Anyway, we are today taking a look at the winning deck list of DNYCS Santiago Laserman 33's Necros deck. Now, I haven't built the deck in my dueling network, so we're going to do it like this. Should be fine, really. Um, Necrons. A lot of cards that you always see in Necrons. You have your Shurits, you have your Manju, your Senju, your Brainiac, your Clazolis, your Unicore, your Trish, your Valkyrus, Pokemon, Mystical Typhoon, yeah, and your spells. Some cards you wouldn't really expect in Necrons per se, or not at the amount of copies that Laserman was playing them at. Now, as I learned, or you will also have been able to learn in the finals video that I did record and upload, so if you haven't seen that yet, go watch it. It was a good final match for DNYCS Santiago. Go watch it. Link description. Why did I do that? I never do that. Anyway, I learned from Laserman that they weren't really sure how much of like meta they would find and how much of decks like Yosenju or other cards that could really stop Necros in their tracks. Things with a bunch of trap cards that could stop them. The Dimensional Fissure, like Microcosmos, could hurt them in a way. But also a bunch of other stuff. Like, just general traps, really. So that's why they did run Denkosek in the main deck, which is generally sided in Necros. But Laserman decided to use Denkosek in the main deck, and Denkosek was the card that beat me in round 5. It really stopped my Yosenju plays completely. And it did help Laserman in the finals as well. You have to be lucky you draw into the thing, but Laserman did in both the finals and in round 5 against me, so good job on them, I guess. Then there's one effect Veiler. It's there for effect negation. Because there's excuse me. There's 4 synchro monsters in here, but none of them are there to be summoned via Veiler. Although the only one maybe if you get like this guy out, what's his name? Necrons of Decisive Armor. Or you get Clazolis out plus Valkyrus, or Unicore, no, Clazolis plus what's this? Yeah, Clazolis plus Gungnir. Yeah, Clazolis plus Gungnir out. Then what you could do is just normal summon Effect Veil and then Synchro into Star Eater, but generally Star Eater is used to be sent to the graveyard, so you could summon Valkyrus, Clazolis together, or Unicore Gungnir. Card you also I've seen more often in Necros since Jin of the Release of Rituals was out is this card. Necrons of Catastor. No wait, no, that's this one. This is Exa. And Exa, do I have him here? I have Necrons of Catastor here. I am quickly just going to the trivia because it's bound to have its counterpart written here. Exa and Force of the Necros right there. We've seen that card. I've seen that card a few times. If it's tributed by a card effect, you can add a Dragon type ritual monster from your deck to your hand, and if it's banished, strike one of your banished Necros monsters and special summon the monster. Great Sorcerer of the Necros, which is seen less often than Exa. But it's still used sometimes. Laserman did run one. If it's tributed, instead of taking a dragon and adding it from deck to hand, Great Sorcerer is a spellcaster and therefore adds spellcasters. And if it's banished, you can send a Necros monster from deck to grave, as opposed to Exa that special summons one that is banished. So that difference is to be kept in mind as well. Max C, because there's just a lot of things that will be special summoned via Necros. Not really Yosenju. Ritual Beast will have a lot of special summons. Quite a lot of decks. The Shadows, Before Mage, Tellers. They'll special summon a lot. So Max C, yeah, Max C sounds like a good card. You get some cards in your hand, and you can do a lot of combo stuff. Necrons would like to have more options to play with, I suppose. They can usually make some pretty big plays with only 3 cards, but if you can get 5 or 6, you have more things as backup to play next turn, or you have better ways to summon and do what you want, which is good. Manju sends you to search for monsters, and well, send you, I guess, for the spells as well. But they could always search for Bio, who can then search for Clausolas, who can then search for a spell, or they could immediately search for Clausolas, who can then search for a spell. Sure it, because it can count as the entire tribute for the summon of one of the rituals, which is great. And if it's tributed, you can add a warrior from Necrons from deck to hand, which is great. Which could be Bryanak, which could then be discarded to get any of the Necros monsters. We have Bryanak, which is usually there to search. Its second effect generally isn't used a lot. Catastor, I do want to go into that one, because Necros of Catastors see even less than Exa, at least in my experience. I don't actually remember what it does. You can discard this card, target a Necros monster in the grave, and special summon it. I guess that's useful. At the start of the damage step, if a Necros monster you control battles an opponent's face up monster, a special summon from the extra deck, destroy that monster. Okay. Let's see, Book of Moon. I was thinking, now that general release of Rituals is gone, people will play less Book of Moon, Book of Eclipse, things like that, to just set the usual Clausolas that's on the field, so that keeps the Jin lock going. A Book of Moon is still a pretty good card. Can interrupt synchro plays, can interrupt Xyz plays, can stop an attack, can defend one of your monsters from being taken by Mirror Force. There's a few other ways the Book of Moon could be useful. And I'm actually thinking Manju of the 1,000 Hands. Is that upon normal summon or just upon summon or flip summon? Oh, is Senju the one with the 10,000? Yeah, Senju. When it's normal or flip summoned, that is also a reason why I think that's the main reason why Book of Moon is still there. Because you can summon your Manju or your Senju, set it with Book of Moon before your next turn, then flip summon it to get another search. That's good stuff, right? MST probably just, well, it's bound to be there to take down spells and traps, because why else would you play it? It can stop the Tenki from searching, it can stop the Bottomless Trap, all the Mirror Force, the Torrential Tribute from just doing anything because you destroy them before they're used. 2 of each of the Necrons ritual spells, which is normal. Sometimes someone runs more, maybe less, like a 3-2-1 or 3-2-2, 1-2-3, whatever, but generally it's 2 of each. I've seen it in a lot of lists. Preparation of Rites, because it is still a very nice searcher to have. Raigeki is still nice to destroy everything. Destruction is good. Reinforcements of the army at 1, because this deck doesn't have that many warrior types, but it has Shuret. And the Clausolas also is a warrior that's level 4 below, so you could add that one to your hand as well to then search for one of your ritual spells. And then Vanity's Emptiness at 1, the only trap, because once you have your field out, let's say a Unicorn and a Valkyrus and a possible Sorcerer of Necrons, you just play your Vanities when they try to Shadow Fusion, or they have just normal summon Stellar Knight Altair with nothing else on the field. Vanity Emptiness stops the opponent, and they can forget about beating you. Extra deck seems pretty normal for the most part. 2 Heralds, Star Reader. Interestingly, there's Ultimaya Tzolk'in. First I was thinking, wait, how is that going to be summoned? How is that summoned again? So I looked at its effect. Cannot be synchro summoned. Must be special summoned from your extra deck by setting 2 level 5 or higher monsters you control with the same level to the grave. 1 tuner and 1 non-tuner. So then I thought, okay, which one's the tuner? There's only one, Veiler. But what other level 1 non-tuners are they going to use? There are none. And then I was like, wait, level 5 or higher monsters. So, how is that going to work? I don't know. But then I realized this. It's always treated as level 12. Not just when on the field, which is what I thought originally. It is always treated as a level 12. for that reason, because it's always treated as a level 12, it's also treated as a level 12 in the extra deck and in the graveyard. Therefore, Ultimayat Sulkin is able to be used as the one card to be sent to the grave via Necros Kaleidoscope, I believe it is, sent to the grave to summon both Unicorn Valkyries from your hand. Generally, people use Shooting Quasar Dragon. You could use your Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, your Ultimate Battleroid. I forget what it's called. I have it. Or you could use this card because those treated as a level 12. So I don't know, might as well because you're not using the Synchro for anything else or the fusion, as long as it has a level and it's in the extra deck. So that's good. 2 Abyss Dwellers to stop grave effects. Burning Abyss, Shadol are major things to have grave effects. Necros as well, however, does it stop spell effects? I know it stops monster effects. Does it stop spell effects from activating in the grave? Any card effects, yeah. So Abyss Dweller also would work well in a Necros mirror match if you clear their field, and then you overlay with, let's say, Manju and Great Sorcerer to form Abyss Dweller, so that they can then not, in their turn, use one of the Necros ritual spells as effect to banish themselves with another Necros card to add a new Necros ritual spell to the hand. Castell, just because it's good. Degus to Emeralds, I've seen it used sometimes to shuffle some of the cards back. Generally, the searchers like Bryanak, to just search for whatever you want again. Will you draw into it again, or search for it again? Because there's options. There's your Manju, there's your Senju. Diamond Direwolf to get rid of something that's really in your way. Excitonight to blow up the field if you're behind or you just want to blow up the field. Gaga Cowboy, barely ever used with its attack position effect. It's generally the defense position effect to deal that final 800 damage. I've barely ever used it recently, but it's useful, and the knowledge that you have the card and have the option to use it can help in your strategies. Also with your Senju, I even run 2 Cowboys because it can be pretty major. Diamond Crab King, interestingly, I personally have it in a few decks, but I barely use it. It's one of the few that I suppose I could take out. I'm kind of recording a video. Okay. It's a card I barely bring out, but it can be good with it going to 3000 attack for just 2 level 4 monsters, and then just switching itself back to defense position, and then having its 3000 defense back. It is extremely weak to Effect Veiler, though. Breakthrough Skill Fiendish Chain, so watch out for that when you use it. Rhapsody banishes stuff from the grave, things like the Necros spells, things like Necros monsters would they want to use Valkyries, but they don't have Necros cards in the grave. You're Burning Abyss so that you can't summon something with Seer or get something back with Dante. I don't know, the Shadol fusion spells, because so you can't get them back with Shadol Core or any of the Shadol fusions when they get back. Then the Tellarknight Ptolemaeus, which will only be used so they can immediately go into Constellar Diamond, and then Constellar Diamond will be able to stop generally Shadol and Burning Abyss. Other dark decks as well, but those are the main 2. Side deck has a second deck of Sekka, Kaiku Ghost Destroyer. That helps banishing more stuff. Retaliating Sea, I want to go over that one because I've never seen it used. And the only time I see it used is in the finals against Infernoids. This is like a counter to Reasoning and Monster Gate 2 as well. And this was game 2. I felt this card really sealed the deal, though other cards have really did a big thing as well, like Denko Sekka. Well, Retaliating Sea really was a big thing for Laserman in that specific game. Every card sent to the grave is banished instead, which in that game were a lot of the Infernoids. You can even search for a Max C when it's sent from the field to the grave. When it's sent from the field to the grave, yeah. It's great. I like it. It's really good against Infernoids, maybe against other stuff as well. I can't really think of something from the top of my head. Maybe Shadol Fusion if there's some stuff in the extra deck, but then again, they won't really. If they send stuff from the deck, but you won't really have that happen to you when you're playing Necros because you don't really special summon that a lot from the extra deck. Must be other things than just Infernoid, right? Laserman, help me on this one. Whoops. Then there's the breakthrough skill to negate stuff. There's the mind crush to get rid of stuff. There's the search. There's the searcher decks like the Necros, like the Fire Fists, the Yosenjus. They search quite a bit. A few other cards that the things, other decks that run things like Fire Formation, Tanky, Reinforcements of the Army, Necros, Bryanak, Pot of Duality, Mind Crush, Consultant, Royal Decree, because this deck really only runs one trap. You can flip your Royal Decree to stop all of their traps as well. You don't necessarily need Denkoseka for that. I forget what this card is called. I remember that it can be pretty good in some situations. And this is not shared right, although it looks like it. That is the new mistake, I believe. It's where it's pretty much the effective mistake. Neither player can add cards from deck to hand, like until their opponent's next end phase, I think, or your next. I'm not really sure about that. Is able to stop your opponent from, let's say, they activate Necros of Bryanak, you chain that quick play spell. They can't do anything, but seeing as Necros relies quite a lot on getting stuff from the deck, with your Bryanak, with your Shurit, with your Clazolis, with all the Necros ritual spells, with the Senju, with the Manju, and even more, you really don't want Mistake on the field because that will really hurt yourself as well. So for Necros, that quick play spell was a blessing, in a way, because it can stop the opponents from doing their major searches, even if their opponent's playing Necros, while not completely locking you out as well. However, would you have a big field out and the opponent doesn't, and you're both playing Necros, you may want a Mistake, but generally this card is something really good to go with if you're running Necros. Alright, now to decide if I want to call this a deck profile video or a Yu-Gi discussion. Generally, all deck profiles I've done were ones of myself, and I feel I've discussed this more. Let's just look at the route, I suppose, that Laserman's taken through the tournament. And then we'll end it off there, and then I'll treat it as a Yu-Gi discussion. Alright, Swiss. Laserman 33. Beating Master Rockas 13 in round 1. Whether that's inactivity or a drop, I don't know. 1-0 has sometimes been given, or a 0-0 in a few other cases, where ring like 1 here, for example. Maybe one of them is drop, one of them is inactivity? I'm not sure. I'll have to ask around. So they won that one. 2-1 against Ocelot in round 2. Then round 3 they beat Haley Williams, aka Zach Rock, 2-0, who did end up 5-2, and they, like, Zach Rock got 12th place, I got 11th. 4th round they beat Croda 2-0, who ended up 5-2. 5th round they beat me 2-1, who ended up 5-2. Like, they beat all the 5-2s. They beat 7H CC7 2-1. Didn't they end up 5-2? No, because 7H I fought in round 4. I don't remember. We'd have to check in a bit. No, because 7H keep losing. I think 7H ended up 4-3. We'll see. And then Chess Bras here in round 7. Which, man, let's see, where's 7H? Yeah, 4-3. Laserman ended up 6-1, 3rd after Swiss. And they came to single elimination top cut, where they beat I Cannot Play Yu-Gi-Oh!, who was one of my opponents, Waka, who was 2nd after Swiss, and then Warknap. Interestingly, Warknap. Ooh, let's vote. Can I? Why am I not logging in? Anyway, Laserman won the tournament. I'm not sure why it's still not been filled in. They must have forgotten about it. Laserman did not end up fighting anyone they'd faced before in the tournament, like Croya, or Chess Bros, but that doesn't have to happen all the time, right? Alrighty. That was the video for today, looking through the winning deck list of DNYCS Santiago. Over the next few days, we will be looking at the second place deck list, because that was quite an interesting one. It was Infernoids. Infernoids second place in DNYCS Santiago, a great achievement by the player. I'm going to really go into detail about that and just check out the deck list, because I haven't really analyzed it myself yet. I do want to learn some new stuff about the archetype as well, because I haven't really used them for a while. Alright, see you tomorrow.